Demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free.
All right, we are here live on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We are streaming live, kyokradio.org, on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku TV. And it is also the day that we honor, celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I will probably be defying all kinds of social media bylaws and this, that, and the others by playing excerpts from the great speeches of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and defy those rules and bylaws. So if I get kicked off the broadcast today, you know why. You know why. All right, it is Oh My Goodness Monday. And man, talk about oh my goodness moments from this weekend in sports, particularly in the NFL playoffs. Cowboy fans, I got one question. Are y'all still them boys? Are y'all still them boys? Longhorn Keith, Big Time Floyd, Felicia, Yolanda, Green, Johnson, Aloysius, Brown, Williams, Jackson, Johnson, all of them. Are you still them boys? I haven't checked my ticker since I've come in this morning. My notifications, haven't checked them. Let me look real quick. Is Mike McCarthy still the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Is Kellen Moore still the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys? Because I have questions on oh my goodness, what in the world was that? Coach Big Mike, Coach Mike Riggins say, how about them Cowboys? And now listen, I don't want to just have random fans beat up on the Cowboys because that's easy right there. That's a layup. That's an uncontested layup with the chance to put it back in if you miss it. I need the Cowboy fans to speak up for themselves today. Listen, I'm talking about the old-time Cowboy fans who will talk noise if they lose by 100 or win by 100. I patterned my spades trash talking after legendary Cowboy fans. If I'm up by 100, I'm talking noise. If I'm down by 100, I'm talking noise. If I got to go a blind 10 just to get back in, I'm talking noise because of the old-time Cowboy fan. If you're a new school Cowboy fan and you're going to call and, oh, they're horrible, we ain't going to. I want to hear from the old-timers. Old school. New school. If you can be honest with me, call me. 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. Mike Patton touring the AFC South. How about them Cowboys? ... losing. Coach Mike Riggins said, who's checking us out on Twitch, by the way, for all our Twitch followers, I think we got like 2. For all our Twitch followers, Kellen Moore, the next head coach of Dallas. What's interesting is I was on a very good podcast with my brother, Adolphus A.D. Moore, calls it the Max Corner with a K, in honor of our beloved brother, Max Edison. And I met another young man who I had not met before in person, and they were talking about the Cowboys needing to move away from Mike McCarthy. Basically, Mike McCarthy should not have survived last night. I said, I got a good feeling that Mike McCarthy will survive last night. I do. I have a feeling that Mike McCarthy will survive last night. But then I said, if he doesn't, don't just interview Dan Quinn. That's another layup. Just interviewing Dan Quinn. Interview Kellen Moore too. If all the other teams in the NFL that have coaching vacancies are interviewing Kellen Moore, why don't you find out what Kellen Moore is talking about? Why don't you find out what his plan would be to fix your Cowboys? I know I'm not saying he should get the job. I'm saying if Mike McCarthy does not survive last night's fiasco, then they ought to at least interview Kellen Moore. And I keep saying last night, it was a yesterday afternoon game, 3:30 Central. What blew my mind was how the stadium itself, the illustrious Jerry's World, Jerry's Dome, the Dallas Cowboy super duper new and exciting, brand new, bigger, better than ever before stadium ended up being a detriment to their own team. CeeDee Lamb was wide open across the middle and had to tap out because the sun was in his eyes from, of all things, the roof being open. That's crazy. I bet Jerry didn't see that one coming. Your home field advantage was not a home field advantage at all. I mean, literally, your stadium cost you first downs and possibly points. You go to the phone line. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Brother AJ Ferdinand, you ain't got any phone calls yet?
Nah, and I can't hear from them boys today.
Yeah. AJ, I talked with you in the beginning of the season about Dak and Ezekiel, and I kind of spoke to you about Ezekiel. And I was telling you that, in times past, just watching it, you say, well, now Zeke this and Zeke that. What happened yesterday, AJ? What happened? So I've seen, and just like I told you in times past, I've seen Dallas. I've seen Zeke. When you're a superstar, it's all about you in the playoffs. When you got superstar status, I don't care whoever on your team that's doing it. When you do your job and the other team doesn't come up to your level, not a problem. But you got to make sure that you do your job. That's why I said he didn't do that. He didn't do anything yesterday, and that's what I've been looking for, for years. And I just didn't get it.
I'm listening, Ferdinand. I got you. I hear you. You're not the first person that's come to me about Zeke since yesterday, and also Dak. And I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm talking to some of the other folk out there, Todd, some of the other folk out there who want to come for Dak and Zeke. But now when I was trying to come for, remember Brad Stevens out there in Boston, former basketball coach. Now he's the head man in charge. I used to say his coaching style and his ability to get his team ready for big games was non-existent. And you know what they told me? They told me that the coach don't run the plays. The coach don't run the plays. And then when I would get on some of the players, it was like, well, they can only run the plays that the coach gives them. Which one is it? Is it Dak's fault that Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore was calling nonsense and had them ill-prepared for the game? Is it Dak and Zeke's fault that Kellen Moore was calling craziness and not adjusting to the way that the San Francisco 49ers were defending them against the run? When the Cowboys are over 100 yards in rushing, not just Dak, but over 100 yards in rushing with all of their running backs and or quarterback. They are 11-0. What should that tell you? If I'm the offensive coordinator and the head coach, we got to find a way to run the ball. I didn't see a commitment to the run yesterday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the deal, whether people like it or not. It's on the head coach and more so on the offensive coordinator. And so the game plan wasn't in place. That's why they lost. When teams come to you with a defensive stand, you got to come with a counter. If you don't, you lose the game. And so I just think the chemistry or the fire that Dallas needed to really make it happen for him. So there was no game plan. You wasn't prepared. And like I say, you can't put that on Dak. You can't put it on Dak. You know, Dak can only do what he can do. He can't block people.
Yeah.
So you got to give Dak time enough to make passes. But the run game was not there. So that's why Dallas come up short, AJ. And like I say, not here to bash him. We're just talking sports.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with people talking sports, man, shame on you.
I got it, bro. But you know, they be coming for me, man. When I was trying to point out Brad Stevens' problems, when I was trying to point out Bill O'Brien's problems, when I was trying to point out John Gruden's L's and hidden issues, everybody wanted to come for me, man. They wanted to run me out of town. But you know what?
I say, you know,
I'm 3 for 3. I know that. I'm 3 for 3.
Well, and keep doing what you're doing, because I'm gonna keep doing what I do, whether people like it or not. So right now, AJ, I'm only one loss. The only game that I didn't call right was New England. New England didn't show up to play off of the defense, and they lost.
Hey man, hold on. You just made me laugh out loud, man. I almost snorted. New England didn't do what?
They didn't show up. Offense didn't show up, and the defense didn't show up. Neither side showed up.
No, bro. Let me help you. They showed up. They got put on that leash, and they got dog walked around the dog park 7 times in a row. 7 times in a row, they got walked around that dog park, whether they were tired or not. Boy, listen, man. They got treated like they was a dog that runs every chance they get off the leash. Buffalo got there early, locked them jokers up with one of them collars around their neck, and walked them around that dog park to the tune of 47-17.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, man, it's amazing. But you know, stats mean something, and preparing your team, AJ, coaches and offensive coordinator means something. And so therefore, now I can go to my team. Didn't I tell you Pittsburgh was going to lose? Didn't I tell you Andy Reid had more plays than the NFL have? Andy Reid is serious about winning. You know, people talked about it. They threw Pat Mahomes under the bus when they was losing. But when you go back to basics, it means something.
Hold on, Ferdinand. I gotta say this real quick, and then we gotta go. Todd just texted. Todd doing that behind the scenes, capping. Todd said Dak is making $75 million. Case closed. Okay, let me just ask you this: is it about the money that the dude is making, or is it about the team? Because see, that's that sports ignorance that. When you ain't got nothing else, you bring up somebody else. And then when you ain't got nothing else after that, you bring up people's money. Dak making $75 million has nothing to do with play calling, game preparation, and adjustments. Nothing to do with that whatsoever. Dak making $75 million has nothing to do with the defense. Dak making $75 million has nothing to do with special teams. And it's so easy to talk about a dude's money when they lose. Everything is open for speculation when they lose. But when folks are calling stuff out, like Kellen Moore's play calling, like Mike McCarthy's, game planning and stuff like that, folk don't want to talk about money then. How much money is Kellen Moore making? How much money is Mike McCarthy making? I'm just asking for the folk in the back. Todd, do yourself a favor. Todd, do yourself a favor. Don't call in today, bro. Do yourself a favor and don't call in today, because this one gonna hurt today. This gonna be that big brother whoops little brother back in the back room where can't nobody see it, and by the time he come out, he got his act right on. Don't call today, Todd. I'm just trying to help you. Let
me put it this way. I'm gonna put it in perspective, because I really, when I call you short, I don't like to hurt nobody's feelings, but the facts are the facts. Contracts are contracts. That contract is $75 million. So if Todd want to go about whose money is worth, J.J. Watt money ain't worth him.
Todd, one of them dudes that be giving money back out of his paycheck so his company could do better. That's what Todd is. Todd, like, oh, I don't need all this money, boss. I tell you what, just give me 10%, and y'all use that to keep the lights on. I'm grateful. I appreciate it.
And I can sum it up, AJ, and I'll leave you. Contract's a contract. If you want to go tit for tat, Todd, look at the money that J.J. Watt is getting. I would be one of the ones to say he's not worth getting his money.
Bro, they was paying J.J. Watt $100 million to pass out diapers, water, and wipes. So let me go, man. I'll holler. Yeah. It's MLK Day.
And I got the Cardinals tonight. Go ahead.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you. Ferdinand. Appreciate it. Call of the year 2017. All right, listen, I got to take a break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break on the Legendary KYOK.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity, Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from. In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The Legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The Legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. That's 800-253-1892.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there. Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no-judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
This is Irma J. from Internal Revamp, and you're listening to AJ on the Lunch Break.
But I never will forget one night, very late. It was around midnight. You can have some strange experiences at midnight. The telephone started ringing and I picked it up. On the other end was an ugly voice. That voice said to me in substance, "Nigga, we're tired of you and your mess now. And if you aren't out of this town in 3 days, we're gonna blow your brains out and blow up your house." I've heard these things before, but for some reason that night it got to me. I turned over and I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. I was frustrated, bewildered. Then I got up and went back to the kitchen and I started warming some coffee, thinking that coffee would give me a little relief. Then I started thinking about many things. I pulled back on the theology and philosophy that I had just studied in the universities, trying to give philosophical and theological reasons for the existence and the reality of sin and evil. But the answer didn't quite come there. I sat there and thought about beautiful little daughter who had just been born about a month earlier. We have 4 children now, but we only had one then. She was the darling of my life. I'd come in night after night and see that little gentle smile. I sat at that table thinking about that little girl and thinking about the fact that she could be taken away from any minute. And I started thinking about a dedicated, devoted, and loyal wife who was over there asleep. She could be taken from me, or I could be taken from her. I got to the point that I couldn't take it any longer. I was weak. Something said to me, you can't call on Daddy now. He's up in Atlanta, 175 miles away. You can't even call on Mama now. You gotta call on that something and that person that your daddy used to tell you about. That power that can make a way out of no way. I discovered then that religion had to become real to me, and I had to know God for myself. I bowed down over that cup of coffee. I never will forget it. Oh, yes, I prayed a prayer, and I prayed out loud that night. I said, Lord, I'm down here trying to do what's right. I think I'm right. I think the cause that we represent is right. But Lord, I must confess that I'm weak now. I'm faltering. I'm losing my courage. I can't let the people see me like this, because if they see me weak and losing my courage, they will begin to get weak. Seemed at that moment that I could hear an inner voice saying to me, Martin Luther, stand up for righteousness. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. And lo, I will be with you, even unto the end of the world.
That one is called The Kitchen Prayer of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as we honor his legacy on today, January 17, 2022. Excuse me. I know I'm violating all kinds of social media rules and bylaws and terms and conditions. I don't own the rights to those speeches, but I know one thing: social media doesn't own the right to tell me we can't play them. So I'm going to play them today. Again, if we get kicked off the air on social media, jump on over to AM 1140 in the Houston area, FM 92.3, or stream it on kyokradio.org. But we're going to play excerpts from the speeches of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So just wanted to get that in real quick. Let me see something here. Mike Patton says he's able to join us today if I can get him in. Let me see if I can send this over to Mike, touring the AFC South. Patton. Yeah, I can. Mike, I just sent you a link. Jump on if you can, man. Jump on if you can. We got the coach at the top of the hour, the Coach Johnnie Cole, with our HBCU Stroll. All right. Again, Todd, I love you. You always gonna be my brother and all that, but I don't want to talk about nonsense and paychecks today. because Dak Prescott 75 million did not call though that running play at the end of the game. Dak didn't do that. Dak didn't do that on his own. Dak is not again, y'all, and I mean it when I say y'all don't bring up other people's money when Aaron Rodgers loses. Y'all don't bring up other people's money when other quarterbacks lose. I'm not going to talk about Dak's money on this show. So, again, you can go have that talk on another station. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. I've been covering football for a long time, even before my official capacity to cover football. And one thing I can honestly say I have not seen, and we bring him in real quick, one thing Mike Patton, host of Touring the AFC South, that I can say I haven't seen was 2 defensive holding calls on running plays. And I'm not saying that they were bad calls. I'm saying they were dumb by the people that did it. And when you see more than one, I start to wonder who taught them that.
Right. I was wondering the same thing. And one of them was just egregious. I mean, Randy Gregory grabbed the man, bear hugged him, and took him down like he was doing a wrestling move on WWE.
And he didn't have to do it. And he didn't have to do it. They had the place sealed up. The pursuit had gotten there. And inexplicably, Randy Gregory grabs a dude, spins him around, and then tosses him on the ground with himself falling on top of him. They ain't nothing they can do but call defensive holding, automatic first down.
Right. And let me explain to a few people here. A lot of people are like, well, defensive holding, how is that possible in the offense and offensive defensive line when they can, grab them and pull them off of them, things like that. But the thing is, when they're impeding processes and grabbing them, turning them around, doing all kind of stuff there, that's when it's defensive holding, not necessarily, when they're trying to, get them off of them to rush the passer or to make a tackle.
Yeah, you can't stop an offensive lineman, tight end, whomever, from blocking you and then releasing from you and going down to block on the second level, linebackers, defensive backs. And that's in essence what the defensive linemen were trying to do. Pull those guys out of the way and stop them so that they can't get to the pursuing linebackers, defensive backs, safeties, what have you. That's illegal. And it got called twice. And I had to, go through my own research and say, when is the last time I've seen 2 defensive holdings against the on running plays in the NFL? It's been forever, bro. It's been forever.
I honestly have never seen that in a game twice in my lifetime, I don't think. So I started asking myself the same question.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out again, man. What was the Cowboys' game plan? What was their game, and what were their adjustments to what San Francisco was doing to them? They got the big pick. They got in the end zone. They got it to a 6-point game, and then they got the stop defensively and did absolutely nothing offensively, and that's how we got down to those crucial, critical moments.
Definitely. The one thing I looked at going into this game is Dallas is bad against the run when a team uses motion. A team averages 6.1 yards per carry every time an offense motions and things like that. So I knew Dallas was in trouble stopping the run just before that because, San Francisco uses a ton of motions and things like that to set up their run plays. So I knew right then and there they were going to have trouble stopping the run. The biggest thing for them is they started playing well against the run, got Jimmy G to throw the football to them, which you knew it was going to happen, and they still couldn't overcome those different things. The thing is, I get your guy texting you, telling about Dak and how much he's making and things like that. But the thing I'm going to say is this: Dak, could he have played better? Yeah, he could have played better. He missed some throws, things like that. But CeeDee Lamb didn't show up. Amari Cooper did the thing I'm used to seeing him do, which is disappear in big moments. Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, of course, it came out after the game. He's playing on a torn PCL, which that was crazy in its own right. But he didn't really show up. Pollard didn't show up. I mean, there's a list of people that did not show up consistently throughout that game. So to put it all on Dak is crazy. The thing is the collective.
Yeah, that's why
the collective stars that show up.
Yeah, I'm not
The
doing that.
collective stars did not show up.
Right.
No pun intended, but the collective stars did not show up.
Mike Patton, host of Touring the AFC South, jumping on impromptu here on the lunch break. Oh, my goodness, Monday. And that's why hearing Jerry Jones say at the end of the game he's never been more disappointed than this tells me that there may be some drastic changes coming. What are your thoughts about what could and should happen after yesterday's loss?
Well, after the game, I didn't really think that Mike McCarthy would be fired. I kind of thought about the different, the little different things, different chances he's gave coaches, like, for example, Jason Garrett over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe he'll come back, things like that. But I did one thing that I usually don't ever get a chance to do, which is I listened to First Take this morning.
Okay.
I really don't usually watch that show, but Dan Orlovsky was on there, and he made some very valid points about the inconsistencies of them in terms of penalties, about how their clock management has been horrible all year, and about how they're 6-9 outside of the NFC East. 6-9 with Mike McCarthy. When he made those points, it led me to believe that there probably is going to be a change, but it's not probably going to be the change that people would like. If people remember, Jason Garrett was a hot commodity as an offensive coordinator. And instead of him going on to be a head coach somewhere else, he ended up becoming the head coach for Dallas. So I see Kellen Moore potentially becoming the same thing that Jason Garrett did. Instead of him leaving to become a head coach somewhere else, he's probably going to end up being the head coach in Dallas. If not this season, then in the end of next season.
Yeah, we got Mike Patton joining us, host of Touring the AFC South. He's up in Tennessee. And I said that last night on a show that I sat in on that, if they do, and I feel like they're going to be more patient and lenient than they were as they were with Jason Garrett. Something has changed in Jerry where he doesn't want to make those impulsive decisions. So I don't expect us to get word today, tomorrow, even next week that Mike McCarthy has been fired. If that does happen, though, everybody's saying Dan Quinn. And my whole thing was, okay, yeah, interview Dan Quinn, but also interview Kellen Moore. If all these other teams are interviewing him, why don't you at least hear him out to hear what his game plan could possibly be to turn the Dallas Cowboys around? I just think that's smart business. Do I think he deserves the job? No. Do I think he'll get the job? I don't know. But I think he should definitely interview for the job should it become open.
Yeah, I agree with you. Honestly, I like Dan Quinn, but I don't like Dan Quinn as a head coach. We've seen this story before in Atlanta, and we saw how it ended in Atlanta.
Yep.
And he never recovered from a 28-3 lead that he lost. So leave him as a defensive coordinator. Don't be so quick to put him back as a head coach. That goes for everybody in the NFL, not just the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, I hear you loud and clear. Keith Hennig said, I believe McCarthy is fired this week. Keith Hennig says he thinks McCarthy gets gone this week. And like I said, I feel like the old Jerry would do just that. I feel like this new Jerry, I don't know who got to him. New Jerry didn't go get Johnny Manziel. New Jerry didn't fire Jason Garrett emotionally. New Jerry has put together a really great roster on paper. And that's why I say, according to he's making $75 million. They can't build a team around him. They got a team around him. They got a very good team around him. They got one of the better teams in the NFC around him. But like you said, they just didn't show up yesterday.
Honestly, with this team, and I know Cowboys fans are not going to like what I'm about to say, I would have never paid Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a guy that has always been inconsistent. He'll show up at times, and other times he'll go missing in action. And this is the main reason I would have never paid Amari Cooper to be the number one wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. If I'm the Cowboys, I make CeeDee Lamb my number one wide receiver. I see what I can get for Amari Cooper at the trade as a trade this offseason. And I keep Wilson and I keep Gallup and the other guys and keep developing them and then draft maybe a wide receiver or two. Because you're not going to go that far with Amari. You're just not.
Yeah. He was definitely the business when he first came over from the Raiders and has been, made some big plays along his time. What were your thoughts about the stadium actually working against the Cowboys?
Well, I figured it would do so because if you look throughout the just the season, there have been more fans from other teams there the entire season. So, and then you looked on social media, it's almost like Dallas fans that weren't able to be there were begging other Dallas fans to be there. So, I wasn't surprised at all. And then, of course, I do a show called Touring the AFC South. I live in Nashville. I hope the Titans do well, and I support them when they're not playing a particular team. And that particular team is the San Francisco 49ers because I grew up being a 49ers fan.
Right.
So I wasn't surprised actually at the amount of 49ers fans that are there. I mean, when they were here in Tennessee, there was a lot of 49ers fans here as well. So, it doesn't surprise me that there are more of the opposing team's fans there than Cowboys fans at all.
Yeah, I was surprised at how the sunlight and the shadows to the light. Did nobody think we want to keep the stadium, the roof closed?
Well, I was looking at the biggest problem that Jerry, the biggest thing that Jerry did that was a problem. He's built the stadium east and west, not north and south. So that's why the sun was hitting right in that window anyway. But the biggest thing he could have done and the smartest thing is to close the curtain.
Yeah.
There's a curtain, big old curtain right there. Close the curtain so there's no distractions, no any of that. Because it actually cost the Cowboys a first down potentially when Cedric Wilson Jr. could have caught that pass, but he couldn't see it because the sun was right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mike Patton, touring the AFC South, joining us. So go ahead before we got to take our next break. Tell me what your thoughts about the Tennessee Titans hosting my Cincinnati Bengals, who won a playoff game for the first time in 31 years.
Right. I mean, I was like, 9 years old when they won their last game. But what I'll say is this: it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge for the Titans with the explosive passing game of the Cincinnati Bengals. The pass rush is definitely going to have to do their thing for the Titans, and I expect the Titans to come out and put pressure on Joe Burrow and force him into a few mistakes and win that game. Now, I will tell you this though: key point about this, everyone talks about the wide receivers of the Bengals. And I don't know why, but Jamar Chase, there we go. Everybody talks about Jamar Chase, but people forget that the guy on the other side of the ball is the number one corner for the Titans, Fulton. He used to cover him in practice for about 3 or 4 years. So I'm pretty sure he's got a good idea how to guard.
Knows a little something about him. The question came up last night when I was on this show about Derrick Henry. Are they going to give him a lion's share of the carries, or will they ease him back into things knowing that Deontay Foreman can cover some of that load?
Well, I'll say this. I read a little bit this morning, and Mike Vrabel is being pretty coy about it, like he always is. He basically is saying that they're gonna continue to get him used to running and the contact and all those different things and lead up to the game. But even if he's not back up to speed, they're still going to focus on running the football because that's what they do. So basically what he's doing is he's just being coy until game time. So we don't know exactly how many carries that Henry's going to get.
Mike Patton, thanks for jumping on, brother. I always appreciate you, man. You are definitely my brother. And as I say, you're brilliant, man. You do good stuff. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
You can find me on Twitter at Mike Patton82. That's MikePatton 82. And you can find me touring the AFC South on all listening platforms.
When's the next episode come out?
Oh, it'll be this week. I've got Rita, the NFL chick from up in Baltimore, coming on. So that'll be nice and fun.
Oh, that's going to be great. We will definitely tune in and check it out. I'll try to post it up on the Lunch Break website. And again, thanks, Mike, for jumping on.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, y'all. Mike Patton, touring the there we go. I'm back. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back and try and wrap this first hour up before Coach jumps on with our HBCU Stroll here on the Lunch Break.
Well, I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Hey, everybody, it's Erica Campbell.
And I'm Griff from Get Up Mornings.
We want to thank you so much for rocking with us every weekday morning.
And after you enjoy your weekend, make sure you start your work week with us.
When you start your day with us, we'll help you get moving and motivated to have the best day ever. Go ahead, say it, Griff.
Best day ever!
So wake up with us. We'll be faith walking,
Love talking,
and joy living on Get Up Mornings.
Get up. You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Do you have high blood pressure or diabetes? Are you over the age of 65 and covered by Medicare? Then pay close attention to this message. Medicare has introduced some new benefits to help consumers during these cautious COVID-19 times. They realize many of you don't want to leave your home to visit a doctor. So now you can get a remote patient monitoring device shipped to your home at little or no cost to you. Now your doctor can identify your problems in real time, which could potentially save your life. Victory Medical can easily ship this monitoring device directly to your home at little or no cost to you. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes and you're covered by Medicare, make this free call right now to see if you qualify for a new remote patient monitoring device. Call now.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527. Attention, those of you looking to go on a fun vacation and see the world on the cheap. Today, the U.S. dollar is worth even more in other countries, so there's never been a better time to travel outside the USA. The dollar is worth over $1.30 in Canadian dollars, and it's the same for Australia. You can fly there today and have fun and maximize your travel dollar. Your U.S. dollar is worth over $3 in Brazilian reals, and it's worth over $18 in Mexican pesos. Plus, in Argentina, it's worth over $27 in Argentine pesos. Just think of the bargains you'll get. And the way you get the cheapest airfare to any destination is by calling Tickets That Cheap. Save up to 75% on your foreign vacation tickets. Don't wait. Call now. 802-317-1983. 802-317-1983. 802-317-1983. That's 802-317-1983.
This is Jamie from Baytown listening to AJ on the lunch break.
This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. Once you discover what it will be, set out to do it, and to do it well. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Well, life for none of us has been a Christmas staff. We must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving.
All right. That is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Life's Principles. All right. You got it right here on the day that we celebrate and honor his life on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Keith, I'm coming to you, Buccaneers. I am coming to you, Buccaneers, in just a moment. But first, got to talk about those Cincinnati Bengals winning their first playoff game in 31 years when they held on to beat the Oakland Raiders 26-19. And the Bengals just, again, they did more right than they did wrong. The Raiders, unfortunately, did a little bit too much wrong and not enough of what they needed to do right. And Cincinnati came out on top, 26-19. Of course, Jamar Chase had another big day. Joe Burrow was efficient, 24 of 34 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Chase, 9 catches, 116 yards. So there they go. They're moving on. Question is now, who will the Oakland Raiders bring in as their head coach? Apparently, Derek Carr and others want their interim coach to be named the permanent head coach. We'll see if, ownership says that's what they want to do. We'll see if that's what they want to do. All right, so that was that game. First playoff win in 31 years, and then it was Buffalo pounding the New England Patriots 47-17. Really, what more can you say? I think that Bill Belichick said it all. I think Bill Belichick said everything that needed to be said after that game. Quote unquote, obviously, they did a great job, and we just couldn't keep up with them tonight. Certainly deserved the win. Well coached, executed well, and we just couldn't do much of anything. Now, interestingly enough, Bill Belichick also talked about coming back. Coming back. He's coming back. And I don't know where there was a question that he wouldn't, but Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the New England Patriots until he decides not to be. I know him and Robert Kraft haven't always seen eye to eye, but I know both of them could see the potential in this team for next season. Now, I will say this about Mac Jones. I have been telling y'all. First of all, regular season, one thing, playoffs, a whole nother deal. Coaches try things in the regular season that they don't necessarily try in the playoffs and vice versa. And one thing the Buffalo Bills decided that they were going to, 2 things that they decided that they were going to do, and one took care of the other, was they were not going to let New England run the ball on them successfully. Just weren't going to do it. So they kept a lot of people in the box close to the line. But what that also did was it took away those short timing, quick hitting passes that Mac Jones loves. And Mac Jones then had to go downfield and try to throw the ball in tight spots in places that he is not yet comfortable in throwing them, and he got picked off twice. He got picked off twice. 24 for 38, not as efficient as Mac Jones normally is. 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, but that was garbage time. That game was already over when Mac Jones started hitting touchdown passes down the field. Again, not trying to say he's not going to be a great player. All I'm saying is you got to make him do stuff he's not comfortable doing. And when defensive coordinators did that, guess what? Not the same guy. New England's out. I didn't think they would get in. They did, so I was wrong about that. But they got blasted. And it makes me go back to what Sean McDermott said after New England won that game where they ran the ball, 100 times and only threw it 3. Sean McDermott said, hold on. Let's not give Bill Belichick too much credit for this one. What was he saying? Hey, we did a lot wrong in this one, and even took some blame on himself. He felt like he got impatient and started throwing the ball when they should have been running the ball. And guess what? They swept New England after that. They swept them when they played them again to win the division, and then they eliminated them from the playoffs after dog walking them 47-17. So Buffalo is moving on. Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia couldn't get it done against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost 31-15. A lot of local colleagues, once again, saying that the Philadelphia Eagles have to make some changes at quarterback. Philadelphia saying that they have to make changes at quarterback because they don't have the answer in Jalen Hurts. Let me just say, stop it. Stop it. Jalen Hurts is better than most quarterbacks in the league and as good as many. Better than most and as good as many. Just because he can't do or he doesn't do what everybody thinks a quarterback should do doesn't make him a bad quarterback. Now, what Philadelphia needs to do is surround Jalen Hurts with the kind of playmakers that he needs for his style of play. If that's your quarterback, then give your quarterback what he needs to be successful. And all too often, these coaches try to turn a guy into something that he wasn't before you decided that you wanted him, instead of giving him what he needs to be as successful, doing what it is that he did to get your attention in the first place. That's what Philadelphia has to do. Tampa Bay got the job done. Todd Bowles and that defense outsmarted the offensive coordinator and Jalen Hurts for Philly. That's what it is in the playoffs. Season, knowing what they're doing, defensive coordinators can confuse young quarterbacks and inefficient offensive coordinators, and that's what Todd Bowles and Tampa Bay did. No shame there on Jalen whatsoever. It happens. Come back, be more prepared for that kind of defensive play, and let's go. All right, I got to get Sybil Wilkes on with what you need to know. Here she is, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, January 17th, 2022. Happy King Day, everyone. Number 1, today the world celebrates what would have been the 93rd birthday of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King last week and the 36th anniversary of the national holiday honoring one of the greatest leader servants the world has ever known. From young Martin Luther King to the current state of the King holiday celebrations, check out the perspectives of the young people of the What You Need to Know staff in today's newsletter, who were not only born after Dr. King's assassination, but after his birthday became a national holiday. Number 2, Martin Luther King Jr. achieved greatness, but as a young man, greatness was not in his purview. You may not know that as a young man, Martin Luther King, or as his buddies called him, ML, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, could shotgun a beer, and whoop you around a pool table and maybe even steal your girl. Read more about Mr. King's younger days in today's article by Cameron Riley. Number 3, long before the COVID-19 pandemic revealed the effects of systemic racism in the healthcare system, minorities, particularly Black people, have suffered more devastating healthcare outcomes than their white counterparts. In his fight for the rights of the marginalized in America, especially Black people, Dr. King included health injustice in his overall mission and life work. He often spoke of how the healthcare system was designed in a way to segregate care, leaving Black people at a great disadvantage. Number 4, Bayard Rustin was an advisor to Martin Luther King Jr. and the organizer behind the 1963 March on Washington. Because he identified as a homosexual, Rustin was consistently attacked for his sexuality and therefore invisible as a key figure in the civil rights movement. Although Bayard Rustin died in 1987, his voice is still being heard today through podcast interviews he made. Mr. Rustin believed that it was important to self-identify as Black and homosexual and was very proud of his identity, although others did not feel the same way. And number 5, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta and raised in what is now known as the Old Fourth Ward. celebrated for his perseverance in nonviolent activism during the civil rights movement. The campaign for Martin Luther King Day started shortly after his assassination in April 1968, and it became a federal holiday in 1986 and was officially observed by all 50 states for the first time in the year 2000. In Atlanta, Georgia, Reverend Dr. King is celebrated with an annual commemorative service at the King Center and another commemorative service at Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he attended and later served as the Reverend. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So said Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with the funny men, Chris Paul and Huggy Lowdown, and our social justice activist, Coy Malone, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
Legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jonathan McReynolds, and I'm glad that you made room for the legendary KYOK, The Lunch Break.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
That is none other than the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We honor him as this is the day that he is celebrated nationally. And as I've said before, I know that I am probably violating all kinds of social media terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to violate them today, Coach. I'm just going to violate them today. They're just going to have to, bump us off. But right now, we don't own the rights to them. We're not trying to resell them. We're not trying to make money off of their profit. All we're doing is letting folks know about the legacy and the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, and it's a special time to reflect back on, where you came from. I was born in the '60s, early '60s as a child, and remember some of those incidents with the Kennedy boys getting assassinated, as well as Dr. King, and a lot of our leaders have fallen off since then. Our leaders today look different than they look now. Sometimes you can't let go of the past, because if you don't let go of the past, you can't appreciate the future.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. That's absolutely the case. And one thing I've learned for myself recently, this last couple of years, I'm not going to let other people define what my history was and what it wasn't. I'm not going to let them define it. I'll study it for myself. If I can't get it in the schools, then I'll find it, in the books and in other sources. But I'm not going to allow people to dictate what my history was and what it is.
Well, now that I watch, when I'm watching television, I'm seeing more black faces. You're seeing more black folks of wealth. But we still got a long way to go. And until we ready as African Americans to love one another and respect one another, on all levels, we still have that struggle. But my parents lived back in those days, and the thing that they pressed to me and pressed to my other 8 brothers was education. And I still feel that way, that education is the road to freedom. Education is the road to success. Education is a way to have some type of quality of life. And I'm not saying a 4-year institution. I'm saying you got to get it in. You got to get, it gives you invitation, whether it's a 2-year college, 18 months, 6 months, it gives you an invitation to make it a better life for you and your family.
Yeah, whether or not it's a trade school, it's a beauty school, it's a welding school, auto mechanics, whatever it is, it gives you A, the knowledge, and B, the credentials to be able to do those things, provide for your family, and make an impact in your community.
Yeah, without a doubt. I tell my kids all the time, the average salary of a high school graduate is about 19 to 20. And now the average graduate of a 4-year guy is about 36, 37. I think even at 40 now. So, that's a decent living, and you have a partner and they making the same, and that's about $80,000 a year. You can live off of that. Yeah. It ain't how much you make. And of course, now we got this gray hair. It ain't how much you make, it's how much you spend.
Yeah.
And you got 1 pair of feet, you don't need 10 pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't say enough about my parents. I can't say enough about Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and Andrew Johnson and Medgar Evers and, Emmett Till. I was just watching a story last night about a kid that got killed at a high school. But you can't, these people gave their lives. They was waking up in the morning, AJ, waking up in the morning say, I might not come back today because I'm going to stand for what's right. Yeah. That's a hell of a thing. You have to look yourself in the mirror and ask, would you give your life up for the freedoms of others?
Yeah. Coach, I got to be honest with you. I was reminded when the Million Man March took place up in D.C., I was living up in Jersey, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I told my sons. I remember my oldest son was living with me. He was young. I came in his room. I kissed him. I said, hey, Daddy is getting ready to go try to make things better for you. If I don't come back, I need you to make sure you always do the right thing. And he looked at me. He was half asleep. He didn't understand. We've talked about it recently. But all he knew was, Daddy was trying to go do something for him.
Yeah. And, well, the good man upstairs, he got some more work for you to do. He don't want you yet. He got some more work. He don't put a path. And again, I hadn't said it in a couple of shows, and I know I don't want to wear you out, but I appreciate you. I love you as a brother, and I just appreciate you this opportunity to, to be able to express my feelings and share my experiences with the audience. And I can't say enough about you.
Well, Coach, I appreciate that. And again, when I say, you said it, I feel it, I believe it, and we don't have to keep covering it because I know we brothers for real in your heart. But there is something to that, not knowing what's going to happen with you. There is something to that. That there is something to knowing that you want to do the right thing and you want to do the right thing for other people, but not knowing whether you're going to survive it. And there comes that place in time, man, where you just got to make that commitment. No matter what the outcome's going to be, I'm going to do the right thing. And that's what Dr. Martin Luther King and many of those names that you mentioned, Malcolm X, that's what many of those names did. No matter what the outcome, I'm going to do the right thing.
Oh, ain't no doubt. You got to have your hand this way instead of this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like the vaccine shot. Kennedy said long time, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We don't live by that anymore.
No.
Because if we did, we wouldn't be sitting here 2 years later, 1 million people don't die from this virus, and you still got people running around talking about, well, they're not putting metal in me and they're not using me as a guinea pig, and it's been okayed by the FDA. Over 67% of the world has taken this shot, and I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, that's one of those things where folks just have their way of thinking, and no matter what you do, you're not going to convince some people about the truth or what's right or what have you. That's that personal choice, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and that's why I give a lot of credit to you all as coaches, because you got all these different mindsets and theologies and ways of thinking in one room with one goal, and you got to find a way to make it all work. What is that like? What is that like when you got guys who, they totally don't think the same way. They totally don't look the same way, but you got to make them operate as a team.
AJ, it's always came easy to me. And it's because I think it's because of my upbringing, being behind 8 other children in a home, and we all beat it to the same tune. My mom and daddy set the presence of this is what's going on, and they weren't educated. 8th grade, my mom been taking care of people all her life. My daddy, brother, he never even got a high school diploma, but they taught us discipline and respect, and to work hard. Those 3 things, if somebody give you a job and you accept the job, do it, then you do it like it's yours. Respect your elders. You know what I mean? So, we and then coaching, and when you, like you say, you got all these people with different attitudes and stuff,
Yeah.
and I just take it from the Army, from the service, military. All of them get their haircut. All of them wear the same uniform. They have to think as one. They don't socialize with the officers. You got an officers' quarter. You got, to set that boundary, to set that respect. And no one's bigger than the team.
Yeah.
And those some 3 things that I really, really hone in on my players, that you need the team more than the team needs you.
Wow. Coach, hold that thought. I want to come back to that because I want to be specific on our HBCU Stroll about some of the things. All we hear about is facilities and NIL and money and all that. There are some things that young people can get that are intangible at an HBCU school. And I think it starts right with that foundation that you just laid right there. We're going to come back with Coach Johnnie Cole on our HBCU Stroll right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
If you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt, then listen up. We can reduce or eliminate your interest rates. Cut your monthly payment up to 50% and stop all late fees. Our company has been helping good people just like you get out of debt for over 30 years. Don't get stressed out. If you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt and medical bills, we can show you a way to reduce all of your bills to one lower monthly payment that you can afford. So again, if you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt and medical bills you can't afford, make this free call today and learn how you can finally get out of debt. Call now for your free consultation. 800-638-7112. 800-638-7112. 800-638-7112. That's 800-638-7112. Sponsored by Credit Guard. Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
What's up, everybody? This is Jonathan Nelson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break with AJ.
I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, that scaffold sways the future. Yes. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Yes,
All right, we back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. How long? Not long. I had to get that one in. That's one of my favorites. It doesn't get played enough for me. But anyway, this is our lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live KYOK Radio on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku TV. Coach, you said the team. Wait a minute, hold on. How'd you say it? You said the team don't need you as much as you need the team.
Right.
Okay.
I said no one's bigger than the team.
No one's bigger than the team. Okay, I want to make sure I got it right, because as we're playing, Dr. Martin Luther King, as we're talking about HBCUs, there are things that you get at an HBCU that is bigger than fancy facilities, that's bigger than fancy uniforms, that's bigger than Power 5 conferences and television and all that kind of stuff. And it's principles like that, because that right there will help you be successful and literally constructive, in almost any kind of setting.
No, without a doubt. When I hear some coaches talk, and I don't like to be a little facetious, when I hear, I want that job, but they got to get a school more scholarships, they got to upgrade the facilities. Yeah, all that's true. But at Lane College, Coach, I had 7 scholarships to everybody's 36, and I had no locker room. We had to make a locker room. Wow. I had nobody, a lawn guy to get the grass straight. I had nobody to line the fields. I done that. And we beat everybody in the conference except for Tuskegee. And I'm not saying that those things are not important. They are, but you just got to go out and sell yourself and sit in front of those kids, mother them, and let them know that when your son leave here, he's going to be able to come back to this community and be productive.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I said constructive, but productive is the word I'm looking for. But Coach, let me take this a little deeper. On the day we honor the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, when you hear some of these coaches and analysts talk about locker rooms, talk about stadiums being filled, and talk about television and uniforms and stuff like that, it reminds me of saying, I'm going to give you these trinkets. Now you give me your soul. I'm going to give you this stuff. Now you give me your God-given abilities. Your God-given abilities are going to play well at Alabama, but they also going to play well at Texas Southern. They're going to play well at Prairie View. They're going to play well at Grambling. They're going to play well at Tuskegee. The trinkets, you ain't going to always have them, but that God-given stuff, that's what God gave you.
Yeah. If you're trying to make a comparison of, and I'm hearing you right, whether you go to Texas Southern or Alabama State, you still gonna be who you are.
Exactly.
And those things, when you go to Alabama, it's just temporary. They're not real. They give you an ideal, but they're not really real. As opposed to going to Alabama State, you get a little more realness, and I think one of the things, AJ, is, we got to look at our race as a whole, and they've kept us so divided, and we've kept ourselves so divided that we can't even see the forest before the trees.
Valid point.
Me and you can sit and talk and like, just think, Coach, if all those kids last week in the Georgia and Alabama game was at black colleges, let's say 75% of them, it would be a different. It would be Texas Southern playing Florida A&M on national TV. But we can't see the forest for the trees, and now everything is, I want it right now.
Yep.
If things went in reverse and those kids start filling up these black colleges and playing at that level,
Coach, so here's something I've been wrestling with, and I got colleagues, I got friends who every time I try to bring it up, they don't quite see where I'm coming from. If I tell you something over and over and over and over again, eventually you may start to believe it. And if you keep hearing over and over again that the SEC is the best conference, even if they're not, people are going to start treating them like they are. They're going to start acting them like. So when they start doing stuff that's not right, folks are going, well, they're the best conference. So, they can get away with that. That's just how it is. When the reality is, the SEC is really good, top heavy, but down at the bottom, they got some schools that can't beat nobody.
Right.
The Big Ten is a Power 5 conference, but down at the bottom, they got some schools that can barely beat themselves.
Right.
Pac-12, Big 12, ACC. My point in saying that is you're going to have some great schools in other conferences that might not be Power 5, like the SWAC, like the MEAC, like the CIAA, like the SIAC, where your son or daughter or you yourself can play some great football, and you got the ability to make it a great school or a great conference.
Yeah, it's the media. It's the media, and we need to do the same thing. Again, I'm gonna talk about my school. Everybody come out for homecoming. Well, they used to come out for home that one game, or when I played basketball, everybody came out for Prairie View A&M game. You know what I mean? And I'm saying to myself, well, why we have to advertise homecoming in Prairie View? We should be advertising all the other games and making the game into an event. And we just don't get that. We as black colleges, we don't get that. We don't see marketing money, the results of it. You know, it ain't like going to buy a uniform. You know, marketing money is we're trying to touch enough people so then they will start coming to the games. But we look at it as we're throwing money out the window.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think one black college have a marketing department. They got a development department.
Okay.
But I don't think they have a marketing
department. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everybody for yourself. It's athletes over there.
Right.
And you know, the university over there and the law school is over here, instead of doing a collaborative thing to market these schools. And just like you say, I believe in you say that if you keep telling me that the SWAC is the best conference in the country, then guess what I'm gonna do? I want to go to the SWAC.
Yeah. I got the Coach Johnnie Cole. We're taking an HBCU Stroll. Somebody just sent me a question from the number 832-244. Said, AJ, I don't want to sound ignorant. If I am, I apologize. He said, are there classics in basketball like there are classics in football in black college sports?
No, they're not. And it's not saying that they can't. What has to happen is they can only play so many regular season games. And they would have to put those games into their season. You know, like if they wanted to play a Christmas tournament or something, and they would have to put those games into the system, or you know, get a pass from the conference commissioner, you know, to play more games than everybody else.
Gotcha. We got to take a break. We'll come back with more from the Coach Johnnie Cole. That's actually a good question, because as I think about FAMU and Bethune, as I think about Prairie View TSU, as I think about Alabama A&M, Alabama State, I wonder about that. You know, we got the Labor Day Classic. We got the Orange Blossom Classic. We got the Circle City Classic. We got all these classics football-wise, but nothing to tell the story, even more so basketball-wise. So good question, whoever texts that one in. Let me take a break. We'll be right back with the coach right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity, Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from in one simple 30-second call. Our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. That's 800-253-1892.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there. Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
This is Lakeisha, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
We have no alternative but to keep moving with determination. We've gone too far now to turn back. And in a real sense, we are moving and we cannot afford to stop because of Alabama and because our nation has a date with destiny. I'm here to tell you tonight that the businessmen, the mayor of this city, the police commissioner of this city, and everybody in the white power structure of this city must take a responsibility for everything that Jim Clark does in this community.
That is Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches during the Selma, Alabama marches, and we know how that situation turned out. It's our HBCU Stroll with the Coach Johnnie Cole here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We're streaming live, KYOKradio.org. Coach, basketball, you played, right? You played at Texas Southern?
Yes, sir.
How was y'all back when you played? I know how the football team was. How was the basketball team back when you played?
We were right there, in third, right there. We actually went to the championship game in the tournament and played against Alcorn State, and they had some great players, and Eddie Archie and Brandon and Coach Whitney's son. They had some great players on that team, and we actually played them very tough. Guys on my team was Lester Brooks, and there was a scorer, guy named Al Woods, and Tony Gatlin, and we had some greats. We had some good players on our team as well.
Yeah, speaking of Alcorn, they're on top of the SWAC right now. They're 4-0. Southern, one game behind them, 4-1, and then you got Texas Southern 3-2, Grambling 3-2, Alabama State 3-2, and Alabama A&M 3-2. The team that I thought would be better, they way down second from the bottom. Prairie View is at 1-4.
Yeah.
I told you conference play was going to tell us something, and right now it's looking like there's some teams that want to come for TSU at the top, particularly Alcorn and Southern.
The funny part about it, during preseason selection, the teams that are at the top now, they were picked to finish way down at the bottom.
Right. Right.
You got Alcorn surprising everybody, but Alcorn is a basketball school, really. Of course, they've been good in football as well. Jackson State is a major surprise. Texas Southern is playing right there in the middle. They got to understand, Coach Johnny Jones got to understand that, he the big dog. They chose him to finish number one in the conference. So every time they show up, they got to bring the A game. They are the Lakers of the SWAC.
Yep. Everybody's going to give them their best shot.
Give them their best shot. And it's still, it's still a long season. Of course, everybody play everybody twice, a home and away, and you want to try to get in that top 8 so you can get into the tournament. Winning the league and basketball is not a big thing, but winning the tournament is. That's where the money comes.
Right. You bring up a good point because a lot of folks kind of forgot Prairie View actually won the regular season SWAC title, if you will, but Texas Southern won the conference tournament, got into the big dance, and then got a win in the NCAA March Madness tournament, gave us a nice little run, nice little surprise. So it is still early because, again, like you said, when conference play starts tournament-wise, that's where the money is made.
Well, one thing about it, though, it's a good thing because I'm looking at the scores. It's a lot of parity.
Right.
Nobody is really just getting blown out. Florida A&M beat Pine Bluff this past weekend, 71-66. Southern lost to Grambling this weekend, 83-77. And Grambling 3-2 and Southern 4-1.
Right.
You had PV and J State. J State won 75-64. All the games are close. Texas Southern lost this weekend. They lost to Alcorn 73-72.
Yeah.
Bethune-Cookman, they beat Mississippi Valley State 62-60.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of parity each week, and that makes it good for competition, and it makes it good that when fans come to the game, things are close.
Absolutely. I think that that TSU Alcorn game is going to come back to play in the conference tournament. But let me talk to you about Alcorn for a second. Alcorn lost to Tulane, lost to University of Houston, lost to Wichita, Tulsa, Baylor, and Oklahoma, all in a row. Lost 6 in a row. The game with Minnesota got canceled because of COVID, and then they started conference play. And after losing 6 in a row, they beat Jackson State 65-50, Alabama A&M 78-71, Alabama State 70-60, and then nipped Texas Southern 73-72. Oh, what a difference playing in the conference has made for schools like Alcorn.
Yeah, when you playing, fast competition, or bigger teams, you get a lot of you get a lot of experience from that, and evidently they got an excellent coach over there. Like I said, Alcorn has always been a good basketball program, and like Texas Southern done. I mean, they went over and beat Florida State, first division, small 1A school in basketball, FCS, to beat a big time school.
Yeah.
So Texas Southern got some holes, but they got to understand that those kids they know they got to come ready every week.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Alcorn has Prairie View tonight. They got Prairie View tonight at 7:30, and let's see, Texas Southern will be.
They got Jackson State.
Yeah, they got Jackson State tonight at 5. So.
And Bethune-Cookman got Pine Bluff, and Florida A&M play Mississippi Valley.
Yeah. So it's gonna be.
It's still in the SWAC that they play every Saturday and then every Monday.
And every Monday.
I used to love those trips. We would leave on Thursday and get down there or late and get down there on Friday and spend the night and get ready for the game. And then the food was great. That's one thing I loved about playing basketball.
Now, Coach, let me ask you a question. When you got that kind of swing where you're going to play Saturday, you have Sunday off, and then you're going to play Monday, when do you practice and prepare for the other team that you got to play on Monday?
Well, it depends. I know how we did it under Coach Moreland. We would either travel that night after the game, depending on where we had to go, or we would leave early the next morning and get to where we're going in the conference, and then we would practice that afternoon. We either would go where we're gonna play at, or if the coach he knew a gym or knew somewhere, a high school where we can go work out at, that's where we would go on Sunday. So Friday and Sundays were the travel dates.
Friday and Sunday is a travel day.
Yeah,
During the week after that Monday night game, do you work on both teams that you got to play that weekend, or do you work on the Friday team and then, like you said, work on the Monday team that Sunday?
You'll work on the Friday team. Okay. You'll work over your mistakes on when you get back on Tuesday. Depends on when you get back. If you played Alabama State and I'm at Texas Southern, that long ride, you might, after the game or that early Tuesday morning, you probably would take off.
Yeah.
So you would come on Wednesday preparing for the team you play on Friday.
Gotcha. We got the Coach Johnnie Cole taking our HBCU Stroll. We just gave you the rankings in the SWAC. Let me go ahead and throw these MEAC rankings out for basketball. Norfolk is up top, 2-0. Coppin State is right there at 2-0. Then you got Morgan State at 1-1. And Maryland East Shore hadn't played yet in the conference. North Carolina Central hadn't played yet in the conference. And then you got Howard, Delaware State, and South Carolina State, all winless so far in conference play over in the MEAC. North Carolina Central, though, man, they got out to such a hot start on that football side, and unfortunately, they weren't there at the end when it came to pass. We're not going to see the same thing on basketball, are we?
Hey, it seems like they got the bunny rabbit schedule. They jump out real fast and get tired. North Carolina Central is a great program over there, and along with Coppin State.
Yeah.
Because Coppin State don't play football.
Right.
And so they can focus and put all their money into that basketball program.
Yeah.
Every year you see them up there. So I'm surprised about Norfolk State, getting after some people. But again, for basketball, it's early. When you start getting 1st of February, the schedule don't turn around, everything counts.
Yeah.
Everything counts. When I played, or even in the past, black colleges always had scores. They always had somebody who was ranked in the nation. A guy named Murray from Southern University and Hunter from Jackson State. We've always had, Frankie Sanders, from Southern University. We always had somebody up in the 26, 27, 30 a game air. You don't see that no more.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I thought maybe with the 3-point, and these guys didn't play with 3-pointers.
Right. They just flat out could score.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't see that no more. You see more guys, like Florida and them got a guy, Randolph, he averages about 20 a game. And Mississippi Valley, got a guy named Carpenter. He averaged about 17. So, and then when you look at Alcorn, they ain't even got a guy in double figures.
Yeah, but they undefeated in their conference. How about that? That's called team basketball, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. Somebody just texted me and said, get off Norfolk State. They're 11-4 overall and 2-0 in the conference. Nobody else has double digits in wins in the MEAC. And he's right. 11-4 overall for Norfolk, 3-14 for Coppin, 6-8 for Morgan, 5-6, 6-9, 6. He's right. Look, Norfolk is trying to play some ball. Y'all don't have to come for me. I give credit, honor, and respect to the good folks over there at Norfolk State.
Well, ain't no doubt the W's count. What's in the left column. I'm gonna go back and look at their schedule and who those 11 wins was against. It probably was Bowie and Livingstone and some Division II schools.
Funny you said that. Bridgewater College, Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, Tennessee State, William and Mary. Oh, that's quality. Bowling Green, that's quality. They lost they weren't close. They lost to Xavier, and I'm talking about Xavier, Ohio, not Xavier, Louisiana.
Yes.
Regent College. They beat Hampton. They beat Grambling. They beat UNC Wilmington. That was a good one. They lost to Hampton. They lost to Wichita State. And then they lost to New Mexico.
Okay.
So they beat a few people, but there was a little cupcake feeling in some of the schedule.
Yes, sir. And not to take away from their success, when you call us out, AJ, we gotta go to the record.
We just go to the facts. That's all.
Yes.
We ain't trying to hurt nobody.
Yes, sir. We ain't on here trying to throw nobody underneath the bus. We want to talk from facts, and we can sit and say, hey, look here, hey.
And if we need to be corrected, we'll stand to be corrected. It's the HBCU Stroll with the Coach Johnnie Cole. Let me take our final break. We'll come back with Coach right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Well, I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Hey, everybody, it's Erica Campbell.
And I'm Griff from Get Up Mornings.
We want to thank you so much for rocking with us every weekday morning.
And after you enjoy your weekend, make sure you start your work week with us.
When you start your day with us, we'll help you get moving and motivated to have the best day ever. Go ahead, say it, Griff.
Best day ever!
So wake up with us. We'll be faith walking,
love talking,
and joy living on Get Up Mornings.
Get up. You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Do you have high blood pressure or diabetes? Are you over the age of 65 and covered by Medicare? Then pay close attention to this message. Medicare has introduced some new benefits.
Hey, I got to talk to you about some insurance, man.
COVID-19 times. They realize many of you don't want to leave your home to visit a doctor. So now you can get a remote patient monitoring device shipped to your home at little or no cost to you. Now your doctor can identify your problems in real time, which could potentially save your life. Victory Medical can easily ship this monitoring device directly to your home at little or no cost to you. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes and you're covered by Medicare, make this free call right now to see if you qualify for a new remote patient monitoring device. Call now.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527.
This is Nick from Acres Home, checking out my boy AJ right here on KYOK 1140.
We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. No, before this victory's won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory's won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory's won, even some will have to face physical death. But if physical death is the price that some must pay to free their children from a permanent psychological death, then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. Before the victory's won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators, but we shall overcome. And I'll tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own.
All right, y'all. That is some of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And again, it is a day that we honor his memory, we honor his legacy, we honor his life, and we are still in that fight to this day. All right, Coach, we were talking a little basketball, we were talking HBU football. I want to jump out of all of that and talk about some of the things we saw in the NFL playoffs this weekend real quick. You played quarterback, you've coached quarterbacks, you've had some of the best quarterbacks in your time. There are a lot of folks that are coming for Dak Prescott, that he making too much money, that he didn't play well yesterday, and then they blame him for the just confusing play at the end of the game where they called a quarterback draw. He ran for quite a few yards, got it down to the 24, and then they were unable to get the ball set and be able to hike it and spike it and get one last play. One of the main things folks are coming for Dak is not getting the ball and handing it to an official so that the official could set the ball. As a coach, as a person who's played the position, what are your thoughts?
Well, that's the fleas that come with the dog of being the quarterback of a team and got such a major contract. He has to take up 50% ownership of it. When you're paying a man $75 million, and you see Brady and you see Aaron Rodgers and those guys get the ball and take it right down and do what they need, not one time, just about 75, 80% of the time. So, and then when you rank him in the top 5 of the quarterbacks in the conference, he has to answer. He has to do better. Let me say that. And then a lot of that comes out of coaching as well. How much have they went over that in practice? Have he been put in those situations? He's fairly still a young quarterback. But he's on a second contract. And, those are the things that you have to talk to your quarterback about. And evidently, those things weren't emphasized, because if they were emphasized, then I think Dak, being the quarterback he is, and I don't see why you call that play anyway.
That's a real good discussion, Coach, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. Why call that play anyway?
Right, because now you're down to I think it was 5, 6, 7 seconds. You got a chance to throw 2 Hail Marys. If the first one don't go, maybe the second one will go, because now you need a touchdown.
Right.
You don't need to get damn closer. You getting closer to do what? To throw the same Hail Mary pass? A Hail Mary pass is the last pass of the game.
Right.
Whether it's a zip down through or it's a toss up, who gonna come down with it? So I didn't understand that call. Me being a coach, I wouldn't have made that call. We would have went for it. We would have tried to throw it in the end zone a couple times.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, when you seen them jumped in a prevent, they gave the middle of the field. If you would have started off early when they had the minute left, or was it minute 4, minute 5 left in the game, you would have threw one down the middle deep, on a line drive and hope I could catch it. And instead of they was chunking 10. If I could have took one and got 25, we could have done that. So I just didn't like their last minute, this is what we're gonna do play. I didn't like it. But I'll be honest, I was looking for Dak and the quarterback that's making 30-something million a year that take us down, at least have one play to throw it in the end zone to win it all.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And he taking the money, he got to take the criticism.
Man, y'all like to talk about them dudes' money, Coach. Why y'all in that man's pockets?
Well, because the money is because his expectation. It's because of who he is and what he brings. And don't take me to the dance and don't dance with me.
But Coach, now you and me talking now. Ain't nobody listening. Did he call that last play himself?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No.
And he's got the mic in the headset.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me whoever called that play in did not say, get down, give yourself up 10 yards down. He ran for 17. Give yourself up 10 yards down the field, give the ball back to the official, spike the ball, and let's go to the end zone. They never said that?
Evidently they didn't, because he didn't. He jumped up and put the ball on the ground. It's the same thing with Garoppolo at the end when they had the inch. He didn't even let the goddamn tackle get
Coach,
set.
you can't cuss on the show, Coach. You can't cuss on the show. You can't cuss on the show.
Yes, I apologize.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
I just got too excited, Miss Jackson. I'm sorry. I got too excited. Here's a veteran guy. Why are you so much in a hurry?
Right.
It's an inch.
Right.
That's the one thing you want to do is make sure everybody's set.
But everybody ain't talking about Garoppolo's money. Everybody ain't talking about his guaranteed contract. Everybody wants to talk about Dak's money. And that's the one thing I don't do. I don't talk about people's money. Play all day. Let's talk about it.
Right. They
decisions all day. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Bad coaching decisions. Let's talk about it. But the
Yeah.
money.
Yes. Well, you asked me a general question of why the people.
I got you.
You didn't say Johnnie Cole.
You're right.
You want to hear my voice on why the people are saying that.
Come on,
that's all I'm saying.
That's how we do it on the bond. That's
Yes,
good
sir.
talk right there.
Yes,
all right, let's get to this real quick. Coach, I've been covering football for a long time, played football for a considerable time myself. I can't think of any time where I saw two defensive holding on running play calls. Who's in that camp teaching these linemen how to hold and pull offensive players out of the way to the point where they got called twice down the stretch?
Look, I hope nobody, until Jerry Jones get out the playing situation there, you're gonna have that. They get these athletes and they put them on so much of a high pedestal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they go to Jerry, and Jerry, got this relationship with these great players they have, and they stink. They don't have no discipline. And when the coach can't tell you, I'd have been all over that kid. You think my man up the Patriots, he'd have cut that guy.
Bill Belichick got him before they got off the field. They would have got before they get off the field.
When players start thinking they're bigger than the team and believing their newspaper clippings, they're undisciplined.
Yeah.
And if I don't have to talk with the coach and I can just go to the owner, and then the owner making a decision, no, that's who I want to see play. And since Jimmy Johnson has left.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Jerry don't get it. He'd rather have something to say than have another ring on his finger.
14 penalties, a playoff record. That's lack of discipline. Coach, we got to get ready to go. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and keep up with the Coach Johnnie Cole on the HBCU Stroll.
I'm always there on FaceTime. Also on Instagram, Cold-Blooded9, and on Twitter, Hobo Big Play. Appreciate you.
Hey man, listen, Willie Gibson from Will Knows Podcast loves that hoodie you got on. He look, you one of his now.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, this is where I'm from. The Buckeyes. You grew up believing in the Buckeyes, baby.
That's it. If you're from Ohio and you ain't like the Buckeyes, you had the problem.
That's the only reason why I'm rocking it.
There it is. All right, Coach, we'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach. Coach Johnnie Cole, HBCU Stroll right here on the lunch break. We appreciate him coming on, and we got to get ready to go, but I cannot go without doing some birthdays because we got a very special birthday today, and I'm going to save him for last, but I got to get the ushers queued up, and let me see if I got my birthdays here. I do. Here we go. Happy birthday going out to the following people. Kay Jones Hartz is celebrating a birthday with Lydia Wells. She's 49. Regina Goodman is 44. Vanola Nelson is 72. What's up, sis? Jackie Gilmore is 53. Michael Christopher Milton is 51. Deborah Wilson Scott. Katie Sambo. Katie, happy birthday to you. Buana Asa Fuiwe. Marla Bennett with Yanika Sachs. Carl Grice Sr. is 60. Lee Charlotte Gaines is celebrating her birthday along with Carl Manning. And let me do the celebrity birthdays, and I'm coming back to the big time birthday man. Muhammad Ali was born on this day back in 1942. Cassius Clay, born in Louisville, Kentucky, passed away, of course, in 2016. The greatest of all time. Happy birthday to Chili Davis, former baseball player. Used to love Chili Davis. He was from Kingston, Jamaica. Derek Mason, a wide receiver, played with the Oilers, born on 1974 in Detroit, Michigan. And Dwayne Wade, of course, he was born on this day back in 1982. Happy birthday to them. And without further ado, to the caller of the year 2020, to a great man, a great friend, a great brother, Keith Hennick, happy birthday to you, man. Happy birthday on this day, January the 17th. Usher, get them right.
Oh, go shorty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go, shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
All right, happy birthday to everybody celebrating the birthday, and especially you, Keith Hennig. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. Before I go, I'm going to close us out with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children
Legendary 1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
All right, y'all. Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. This one was important to me. And that last part, I mean, we all talk about that and see that in a different way. What is the dream? Has the dream been fulfilled? Is the dream still alive? Can we still accomplish and achieve the dream? This right here, this name right here led the way, but it's our turn to follow. It's our turn to take it to the next step so that we can all achieve that dream. Not black people over white people, and certainly not white people over black people, but so that everyone can be a part of the dream. So as always, I mean it when I say not this, definitely this. I love you, no matter who you are and no matter where you are. Have a blessed day.